Distinctkusai.
I'm Jukebox Hero.
I'm Skufflewick, and I'm the pretty one.
Hi, I'm Jukebox Hero.
I'm Distinctkusai.
I'm Skufflewick, and I'm still the prettiest one.
Debatable.
Self-proclaimed.
Yeah.
It's fact.
Alternative facts.
Yeah, hashtag. That's about as much as I hashtag. So anywho, we're going to talk quickly because Kusai is too lazy to edit out the pause spaces between what we say and things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or,
Yep.
I'll point out that, when it's just you here, you tend to create very big spaces.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get rid of those little pauses.
We could just play
Says the
everything
one who
at
doesn't
like
edit.
1.25 times speed.
Yeah, but
It's-
people can do that in YouTube themselves.
Yeah.
If they want to make us sound like mice, that's their prerogative.
Yeah, this isn't the Chipmunk podcast there, Skufflewick.
Oh, that was really bad.
You should feel ashamed.
I do, actually. I don't know. I haven't been talking much this morning because nobody's been playing this morning with me. So, like, I haven't talked at all, and my throat's just like... when you wake up and you haven't talked and your throat just isn't doing anything?
No.
Do yourself a favor, just hum. Yeah.
Just go gargle
And
something
then try and
salty.
get deeper.
Burgers.
So in all seriousness, what do you guys want to talk about first?
Games we've been playing.
Okay.
Let's jump into the only segment we have.
Okay.
That is
Let's
true.
go.
That is sadly true.
That's fairly accurate. So there, Skufflewick, what's the newest game you've been playing? Or the only game you've been playing?
Who dat? I heard Block. Who the hell is Block?
Skufflewick.
Oh, yeah, your mic really
Oh,
sucks
Blockhead.
right
Got it.
now. I've been playing Ark a lot. Like, only Ark a lot lately. It's a lot of fun. Me and actually my boss, a few of his buddies, and then Cuddles, again, who eventually will end up on a podcast, have a server going, and we're basically just building giant freaking bases at each of the obelisks because we have too many wyverns that take up too much space for the bases that we had previously.
Now, for the people listening that have never played Ark, how about you explain the game a little bit?
You ever play Minecraft?
Yeah.
Go out, survive, gather resources, build yourself a home. Except in this one, you get to beat dinosaurs into submission and make them your own.
Are the dinosaurs overpowered at
Hold
all?
Doesn't Far Cry do something like that?
Yeah.
The new
Actually.
one? Primal or whatever it's called?
I don't know if I would say they're overpowered. I would say it's decently balanced, but there are certain dinosaurs that have better attributes than others. Like the wyverns, in order to get one of these guys is very, very difficult. So in order to get one, you actually have to go into the crack of the earth, which is the equivalence of hell. Giant lava stream, like
Pretty.
shit tons of wyverns in there, and like they just mess you up. So you have to go into the crack of the earth and steal an egg.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
You then have to hatch the egg using a bunch of... I don't know how they did it, but there's a bunch of certain stuff you have
Black
to do.
magic.
Exactly. Black magic. So you have to hatch the eggs, and then you have to imprint and tame the eggs. So it's...
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really do it a whole lot of
Difficult.
justice in explaining.
Okay, so is there any similarity between this game and Far Cry Primal?
Never played Far Cry Primal.
Oh,
Actually, the
I've
last
only
Far
ever
Cry I
seen
played was Far
trailers.
Cry 2.
Oh god, there's so many more now.
Super enjoyed that game. Like, actually a ton.
all I know, Primal is pretty much set back in like the Stone Age with like cavemen and stuff, and I think you can like tame the saber-tooth cats
The
and whatever.
Cybertooth. It is a
Yeah.
digital cat.
Yeah, digital. Hey, I corrected myself.
I enjoy that.
Is that the only game you've been playing is Ark?
Yes.
You telling me you didn't hop back onto Pokemon?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Come on, we've had a nice week of weather, man. Second gen came out.
Oh, I've been so fucking busy this week. Like, they're just... For me to have time to play video... Even to play Ark. The only way I've been able to play Ark is because I've been staying up till like 5 a.m. a few nights. Yeah. Surprisingly, I'm a very busy person.
The next time you're sitting on the shitter, open up Pokemon Go and see if you can catch a Sentret.
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I have a Sentry. I don't know. The girlfriend wanted to go play it really quick when we were on our way to get some cheeseburgers after I came home from work. We quite often, like, I'll get home, and then her and I will just go get a couple of McDoubles. And, like, that's kind of the time that we get to spend together type thing. So, she wanted to stop in at the local golf course, which is a spot. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I think I did catch a Sentret, and I missed the Totodile. Little fucker got away.
Oh, dude, there was a Totodile?
Yeah, apparently there's a nest
Nice.
at the golf course there. So yeah.
I gotta keep that in mind, because apparently, I think the starter Pokemon for second gen are a bit more common now. Because I've already caught a Chikorita and a Totodile, but it took me like 4 months to catch all three of the
fucking
first
attacking
gen
losers.
ones.
That's why you're out here.
I'm gonna point out the only Pokemon in Gen 2 I've managed to actually catch are a Sentret and a Hoot. But
Yeah.
they're
They're
like
commons,
the new
but-
Pidgeys and Rattatats.
Yeah.
So.
Marilla does like the Hoot Hoots.
Rattata.
Or Merlin does like the
Rattata.
Hoot Hoots.
Yeah, they're cute. Okay,
Huh?
they're kind of cute, but I want.
She likes owls. In general, she likes owls.
I made a goal to get the Noctowl because of Ash's Noctowl in the anime. I just
So-
want to have the same team.
So I'm gonna assume, apart from Skufflewick here, both me and Jukebox here have been playing Pokemon Go too, and that's one of your recent games you've been playing, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I actually came into the city with my mom and girlfriend, and
Yeah.
we went to the university, and like we caught a shit ton of stuff.
It's kind of
Oh,
funny.
yes.
For those of you who don't know, Jukebox's mom, and I don't say this with any like negativity or anything because she is kicking my ass, but she plays the shit out of Pokemon Go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
so-
like quite literally, she is kicking my ass in the game. Like I don't even have a chance.
So get this, once I graduated school, I pretty much stopped playing Pokemon Go. I'd maybe, go out to the closest stop to get my day streak or whatever.
Yeah.
I was about 180,000 experience points ahead of her at that point, and she, like, as of yesterday, has passed me. It's like a competition for her, and now she wants to keep her lead.
So, Schultze and Merlin, Schultze being my brother-in-law, Merlin being the girlfriend, they have a competition. Although Merlin and I, because we would have to travel to get anywhere with good Pokemon, kind of lost the lead. But for a while, she was actually beating him. And for anyone that knows anything about Schultze, like, to beat him in a video game, or like collecting stuff in a video game or anything like that, is quite an achievement. So,
No, I have
What's
a question
she
for you
at?
there, Skufflewick.
mhm.
I know for you because you guys have to travel and you guys come into the city in.
Okay, and we go to the government building. Haha.
But on top of, but do you ever go into any of the universities? Because those tend to have a lot of more Pokemon stops.
So there was one spot that we gone a few times, where there's like 4 spots. You can sit in your car in the middle of them and hit all 4. I think I actually showed you that spot one time.
Yeah, no,
Is
you
it
have.
at the uni?
I actually don't know. Anyways,
Oh.
But yeah, it was a decent little spot. We gone there good few times. Yeah.
There's actually a spot like that over at the university near me. It literally you 3 spots right next to each other. You just basically sit there and you get all 3.
Yeah, and there's a park bench in the middle you can sit at.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Except there's 4 there.
That's the spot I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Is there 4 in the university or is it just 3?
There's 4, but
It
the
was
one
4.
is just out of reach. Like you gotta walk like 30 feet for it.
Well, if you sit in the middle, you can get it. But if anyone's at that bench, then yeah, you gotta get up and go get it.
You can't hit it from your car. That's the biggest pain in the ass.
I guess.
I will say it's nice. It's nice being at the university because when you want to take a little break and go get some food, there's a lot of food nearby.
Not when we go. Again, 1 or 2 in the morning.
You need to stop going at 1 and 2 in the fucking morning. That's your issue.
Well, I don't have time any other time. That's the issue.
I mean, we go in the evening and nothing's open then.
Yeah.
There's a bar.
I
There's
don't
a rat.
have evenings. I have jobs.
I don't bar.
Not to say that you guys, huh? Who
Hey,
bars?
bar
I
food
said
is
I
good.
don't bar.
The
bar
only
food
bar
is
that I
good.
go to is Brewhouse. I don't mind Brewhouse, but like that's pretty much
Oh,
where I draw the line.
The brew house has the John Candy burger, right?
Yeah, that's
It's
good.
too
burgers.
goddamn loud.
Yes.
Yes.
See, that's why I like a nice pub because they're usually quiet during the weekdays. Nice, you can have a good conversation. They have snugs, so you don't have to be around a bunch of people.
Yeah, I don't mind that. How much?
I
weight
heard
can my raptor hold?
snugs, and I assumed you were saying snuggies. I
No,
would
it's
love
not.
to go to a pub with snuggies.
No, yeah, have some snuggies in the snug. That'd be kind of funny.
I would totally go to a pub if they like handed out snuggies.
Yeah.
Anybody listening, that's a business opportunity right there.
It's like the natural evolution of a blanket. How come no one ever thought of it until like a few years ago?
Could you imagine if they had it first? Everyone would just look at blankets and be like, "The fuck is this shit?"
Is it just a really soft towel or something?
Yeah, like it's warm, but it's stupid.
Okay, so
it's,
with Pokemon
it's
Go,
limiting.
is there any Gen 2 Pokemon you guys absolutely want, but it's gonna be fucking hard to
Entei.
Okay, let's.
Am I wrong?
I really want a Togetic.
I
Oh,
really
yeah.
want my favorite, which is a Feraligatr, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
alligator. Again, there's a nest over by the golf course.
And I also want what was it, an Gyarados?
Well, that's a personal problem.
That one will actually be pretty easy because Spinnerax are like the new Caterpie.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They're really
Ooh.
common.
Don't forget Steelixes. That's gonna be
So that's actually an
Well,
item. I
I've
think
actually
Metal
got quite a
Coat.
few Onyxes.
So for Steelix and Scizor, you gotta apply a metal coat to Onyx or Scyther, and then you gotta do something
Yeah.
special with it. I haven't looked into it, but I think it was the same
Well,
in the Game Boy games as
Hold
well.
on. If you go to like Onyx in your Pokemon, it'll say evolve, but it'll also have like a little symbol for the metal coat.
Yeah.
And if you have one in your items, you just press evolve and it does
No.
it.
Oh, you know what? There is another game that I've been playing lately.
Oh, come on, let's hear it. What is it?
What's that?
Sorry, I totally lied. Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links.
Oh, holy shit, I just downloaded that.
I haven't
it's-
even tried it yet.
So, Scott and Steven, Merlin, I think Cuddles plays it too. But, like, it's fairly new, but it's decent. I've quite enjoyed it. Like, if I'm sitting on the
Yeah.
shitter or whatever, I'll take an extra few minutes to do another duel.
I like that it actually has cards that I know,
Yeah.
like from the original expansions and stuff.
Well, it does have a lot of newer cards. Sorry, I have hiccups. It does have a lot of the newer cards, and like some of the more popular or the easier to obtain cards are not in it yet, from the originals. At
Yeah.
the same time, though, it seems to definitely have a lot of easy to play cards.
Now, I have a question. How do you get the cards? Because I haven't actually had a chance
So-
to look at it. I want to.
Win
it's-
duels.
It's pay to win.
Or pay money.
There is a pay to win aspect on it. However, you can do, as far as I know, the entire game without.
Yeah. I haven't actually played it yet, but my buddy was pretty hardcore into it, and he's been telling me, like, you can do very well without paying.
Yeah, so I
And
don't pay in games
It becomes
like that.
almost a non-option once you reach that point.
I don't pay
It's like not worth it.
in games like that. And I've actually done decently. Like I'm... Fuck, what level am I at? I think I'm level... Like, profile level 20. Character levels 25 on a few of my characters. But, like, it's very grindy.
Now,
I'm sure people will know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
have a specific question here, though. Have any of you played Hearthstone?
No, but I've seen it.
And I was wondering if you have, is there any similarity between the two?
I've heard
Do you
there's
like-
similarities, but I've never played it.
Yeah, because like I'm just wondering how, because like if it's like Hearthstone, then I kind of get how you get the things. The reason why I asked how you get the cards is because I've played some of the old versions of Yu-Gi-Oh video games where you actually could input the actual
Oh, no, you
code
can't
on the
do
bottom
that.
of your card, and yeah.
No.
No.
Which is a really nice aspect because you went out, bought cards, you inputted them into the bottom. You could win cards in game as well. But
It is,
you could
but you
actually
could
put your
also
whole deck.
just go cheatcodes.com, find
And,
all of
yeah.
the codes.
Does anyone remember cheat code CC?
That was
yeah, I
the one
still
that I
use
was
it.
talking about, yeah.
I still go there for articles.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he reads porn for the story.
Hey! They put some interesting articles in those things. What? No
Okay.
response to that?
Porn for the story.
Sure.
Game FAQs is my preferred.
Yeah.
They had good stuff.
I mean, do either of you even have any use for cheat codes anymore? Because I still use them quite regularly because I play old games, but like, are you just looking up the actual FAQs or do you actually use cheats?
I use it for Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I really don't... Sorry, not for fuck's sake, you guys. For fuck's sake, I'm trying to get some resources to stack how I want them.
How's that working out for you?
Fucking guess. Hey,
Okay,
we
we'll
got it.
continue talking.
Huh?
Now you. Distinct.
Yeah, I don't know. I use it for like Grand Theft Auto, and I do occasionally look up to see if any new games actually have any cheat codes. But for the most part, most new games don't, and when I only use them when I go back to play older games. Still, so
Kusai actually just uses it for the porn. Hot coffee was his thing.
that wasn't my thing. It's too many polygons.
Too many what?
Polygons. You know?
Oh, so it was if it was higher quality porn,
That's
then he's
right.
all in there.
Yeah.
Got it.
Don't lie. There's Skufflewick UB2.
I don't know if I ever actually did hot coffee.
No, you were too busy looking up lesbian porn at that age.
Oh, probably. Hey, ladies deserve some love too, you know?
And letting everybody down the block know that you liked it.
That part I don't remember.
I feel like this is a story.
I don't know. I was a stupid kid. I did a lot of dumb shit. Like hanging out with
You were
Kusai.
Now you're a stupid adult.
Exactly. Again, hanging out with Kusai still.
Yeah.
I make bad life
You're
choices.
You're quite loud
Ow.
and prominent about just like while we were walking down the street. Yeah, I love lesbian porn. I like going to these sites, and like we're walking down the street and people are like coming out of their house like staring at you like, what the fuck is this 12-year-old kid yelling?
I mean, that does sound like something I would do, but at the same time, and Jukebox, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you're still more likely to do that than I was.
Me?
Maybe you're equally likely.
Kusai's just like, well,
At least I'm being
Okay.
honest there, Skufflewick.
Okay. You guys, this is like the third time a podcast has delved into porn. Distinct, what have you been playing?
Other than Pokemon Go,
Porn.
very minimally. No. I've been playing
Porn.
Resident Evil.
Where's
So-
my raptor? Oh, there you
Trying
are.
to delve.
And is it meeting all of your expectations?
Oh yeah. Not only is it cinematically, the cutscenes are really nice. So are the in-game little bits that you can't control, which are like, you know, when you can still look around, but it's obviously a preset thing that's going on. There's no gameplay. It's not
Yeah.
really a cutscene. They've been doing those are actually been really good as well. I like
You
those.
mean QuickTime events?
Decent.
No, it's not QuickTime. You can literally just look around and they're doing preset actions.
Oh.
They've been doing kind of neat little things that I do have a slight complaint out with, even though they're nice, is that they have characters you see walk by through other hallways inside the house and
Okay.
and in other places, and they disappear. And what I mean by disappear is they either, if you rush forward to try to see where the hell they're going, it'll stop you from rushing forward, or they'll literally just disappear by the time you get there, and they shouldn't have disappeared.
So there's
Kind of
no
thing, and
object permanence?
Yeah. And I've seen games where they pull off the whole, like, the guy's disappearing, but what they've done is they've literally, if you glitch or use glitches to see what they're doing, usually they're actually climbing in and hiding somewhere within the environment. That's not what these guys are doing. They're legitimately just making them disappear.
Okay, but if the game
So-
developer chooses not to allow you to see them anyways.
Well, the only one really annoyed me is that I should have been able to walk forward because I was walking like literally a foot behind the other character, and he disappears. It's during this little cut scene where you're looking at a video and you're
Jeez.
walking right behind him. You can't follow him. It'll literally stop you, and you won't be able to walk forward, but he'll continue walking down the hallway and then disappear.
Okay, but if the character in question is designed to walk down that hallway and then you cannot find them, what difference does it make whether the developers program them into climbing something or just poof once
Well,
you
no,
cannot
in
see
this
them?
case, it's not letting me follow.
It
at
might
all.
be an emergence thing. Like, that could really take you out of a game if,
Yeah,
if
that's what
all
I mean.
of a sudden just...
If you're not
changes.
supposed to even be able to see it anyways?
I don't know. I feel like they could have done that a little better way. Like, you could have distracted me somehow, and or had me doing an action while he walked off, which is I think what their intent was, but they didn't put that in. So I followed behind this guy, and suddenly I found myself stuck in place, so I couldn't move, and he continued walking forward. But when I went back to replay that section, if I just went with the other guy and filmed him because you're pretending to be a film crew guy, then you could do whatever you wanted, and then he just disappeared normally. It's when you followed behind and they literally stopped you from moving and you got stuck in place.
Okay, that I get.
That's a
Yeah.
lazy move, is what, and it kind of is like, they could have done that better. But for the most part, yeah, it meets my expectations.
Are
There's
you
a lot of-
finding that the gun is useless?
I haven't got a gun yet.
Okay, because I've watched a couple playthroughs, but only like maybe the first hour or two of it.
Oh, wait,
And what I'm noticing is like when you get the gun, I mean, it may slow them down, but it's almost completely pointless.
I should point, I did have a gun, but that was for the first boss battle, and then since then I haven't been able to get another gun. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Like,
no,
it seems like you'll think that you're doing something and you may feel a bit more safe, but at the same time, you know he's just going to get right back up.
for the first boss battle, yeah, no, I would say the gun is pretty much useless, but I think they purposely do that. And if you're playing on
Yeah.
normal, it still takes like 20 some bullets in the head. Spoilers for anyway, but yeah, it takes like 20.
Oh, what a dick! You have to add spoilers before that. Editing.
So yeah, about there's gonna be about 20 rounds, but when you play it in Madhouse mode, it's annoying. You waste like 25 bullets shooting her in the head, and you still
Yeah.
have to try to risk getting close to her
So
to smack her with an axe.
Kusai has a habit of just going ham. Hey, a sheep.
Well, and I made
Going
sure I
ham on sheep. Got it.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
you had to actually shoot this in the head. I even looked it up afterwards. You have to shoot her in the head, or it's pretty much you need more bullets than you will possibly get if you shoot her anywhere
So no,
else.
what I mean is Kusai will find a brand new game, and like I like to go into a game, get the story first, then do the difficulty. I go in, play on normal, then I will go play legendary. For Halo as an example. Kusai just goes in and is like, well, fuck it, legendary.
Yeah.
If I have
I don't
people
like to
I'm
think
playing with, yes. If I'm just out on my own, I'm not going to, like, first playthrough is full out.
I'll point out this time around I am doing something a little different from what I normally do. I am playing both normal and Madhouse simultaneously. I'm alternating between the two.
That's
so I'm further
stupid.
along in the normal. It's because I like the challenge.
Okay, I like the challenge after I've enjoyed the story.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I
you
like
might as well
getting-
just go play Call of Duty and do the same thing over and over and over again.
Well, and I feel like playing it on. Well,
No
that's
kidding.
another reason why I like playing it on the hardest mode first. Because usually in games, if you play it on the hardest mode first, you get all the achievements for the previous difficulties as well. Example: Halo. You played on
Gun
Legendary.
does not.
Hmm?
Just as an example, the game Gun does not do that.
Yeah, but most games do. If you beat
Yes.
it on the hardest difficulty, you get the subsequent lower difficulty achievements as well.
And if I'm playing with people, awesome.
Yeah, I kind of wondered how this game would work if they tried to make it co-op or multiplayer. Resident Evil, like they did. Resident Evil, I believe 5 was had a co-op mode. So I think this game would be a little less scary if they added in a multiplayer like they did in Resident Evil 5. Because, having a friend there kind of negates the fact of being, alone and scared.
Yeah. Or if you play
Yeah.
that shit in VR, it's terrifying.
Yeah, I'm actually wanting to get a hold of VR because Resident Evil 7 is meant to be played in VR.
I can't remember which company it was, but I think it may have been Bethesda. They said they're working on 2 games made for VR, which gets me excited because, like, I want to see if this is going to be, like, the future of platforms and, like, the way you consume your video games or whatever. I want to see it with real fucking video games and not all these goddamn tech demos.
So
Well,
watch a guy called Barnacules Nerdgasm. He's played quite a few games that are legitimate games. There's actually one guy who he went and just did a video with, whose like 20 by 20 room is set up specifically for VR.
There's a guy, who's doing that here in our city that's setting up. They're in the UK. They actually have a company setting up what's called a VR arcade, and it's kind of like, to me, when you look at it, it's like a mixture between laser tag rooms and VR. So they have wireless VR things that you wear. It's actually HTC Vive with a bunch of other shit added onto it, so you can walk around, and they actually set up foam props and everything, so there's a little more realism to it, but you're still in VR. And they set up games, shooter games, all sorts of little things like that. So VR games are starting to take off in a different way than they had before. So we might actually see them. And as far as Bethesda coming out with VR games,
What
they
did
are
you call
actually
it?
doing Bethesda.
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 There we go. Anyways,
There's 2 E's in there.
It's the first time I've heard it said like that.
are you sure there's only one E in there?
It's Bethesda.
Beth Ez.
Yeah, there's 2 E's in there, but not together. I'll point out though, the only 2 games they're coming out with VR right now that they've announced, as far as I know, is Fallout 4. They're making it specifically VR, like a VR DLC. It's the full game but in VR, and same for Doom.
No, are
I
they
know
building
it's
it
coming
from
out.
the ground up, or are they adding the ability to do it?
Yeah.
See, there's some speculation on that. They've some people have actually managed, and it's the whole game in VR. And what people are worried about is the mechanics of it, because really, other than it, really for VR with how high res Fallout 4 can be, they don't have to do much rebuilding from the ground up. They just have to add in the proper mechanics for VR. And from the sounds of it, they might be adding the proper mechanics, but the only one I think they're going to have a hard time getting around is moving around. I know for a fact, because I've watched the video, is they do add the game mechanic where if you lift your arm to look at the Pip-Boy it for your menu, it'll actually lift and go to the menu in the same motion as your arm. So that's
that's a nice touch.
So it seems like they're actually trying to make it VR. I'm just wondering how they're gonna make it so you can walk around, because that game would be amazing if you could just walk around in it in VR.
There's some games that like swinging your arms is how you walk, as swinging them as though you are walking. There's a few games that take that same motion.
And I feel like that would mess with you, how you're in the game. You're like, what's that word, Jukebox, about being immersed in the game?
Immersion.
Yeah, immersion there.
The one you just said.
Yes. But my point being is that if doing something like that might take away from it. I know at one point in the earliest little demos they've done for it in Fallout, you literally pointed and clicked and you teleported to wherever you were pointing and clicking.
So there are some VR games that do that, which apparently does work really well. But I feel like Fallout is a game where you are part of the world to the point where that would fuck it up.
Yeah, and you need some way. Though there is a piece of home equipment that I think would be very good, and it's cheap. These guys make these, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. Essentially, you remember those little bounce things you used to they had in the 80s and 90s where you had like a round platform with a ball on either side and you could bounce around by holding on to it? You guys remember those?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
It's this toy, and I had one growing up. It's literally just this little bounce platform. This little VR thing kind of looks like that. You put your feet on it. It has a little ball underneath of it, and if you want to walk forward, you tilt your feet forward. If you want to go backwards, you tilt it backwards.
Oh god, this is going to turn out like Tony Hawk's Skate.
The roll-in rocker.
Yeah. So, and I think that's a good cheap solution to some of not being able to have an omnidirectional treadmill or something like that for people, and not trying to fake it with point and click or moving your arms, because like feel like in Fallout 4, trying to move your arms while aiming and shooting to try to run away from somebody would
that's a good point. Yeah.
And that's what I mean. You have to be very particular in certain games. So like something like Fallout, you're going to have to come up with something that works along with the other game mechanics. Otherwise, you're just going to end up having people die and hate the VR version of Fallout. So, their big thing is because they're actually adding the arm controls in it to it. Whereas something like Resident Evil for VR, they're still using a controller. So you don't have to worry about all that. Which does, wreck the immersion a little bit, but they're not aiming for full immersion in Resident Evil 7. So, like they're aiming for something like Fallout 4.
That's a good point. Like, you gotta play to your level too, right? Or like you have to only build to what level you're wanting.
Well, and that's why I'm kind of glad there's other things for VR than just HTC Vive or Oculus, is that something like PlayStation VR is actually accessible to people and it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And it does, like, HTC Vive and Oculus is more for like hardcore PC gamers, whereas I kind of feel like what Sony was aiming for with PlayStation VR is more for like trying to get people who aren't hardcore video gamers slightly into the VR world. You know,
as an introductory, yeah.
Yeah, because like, who wants to? Who if you've never tried a VR and you're not that big of a gamer, are you going to go drop $1,100 for the VR itself, and then go spend another like $1,100 at minimum for your PC that can play it as well?
So for a decent VR capable PC, you're looking at minimum of $4,460 or equivalent.
Yeah, so that's my point. It's going to be
expensive.
Getting
attacked right now? No, okay. So $4,460, and like, even if you're putting that, say we go the modern equivalent, you're looking at a 6,400. Now you put a 6,400 even on an H110 or a B150 chipset, like, you're still looking at several $100s for your platform. Like, at minimum, you're looking for the full computer, probably $1,200 Canadian.
More.
I should specify Canadian, because people down in the States are going to be like, "Ha, you're fucked." So this is this is one of those things I do professionally. For anyone who doesn't know, is I am an IT guy and I do custom builds professionally. But yeah, like you're looking at a decent quad core with 3.2. Now that's on the Intel side. I'm not personally a fan of AMD, but yeah, you're still looking at $1,300 for a computer, $1,100, like $2,500 just to start VR.
Yeah, that's not including the games or anything like that. So
Yeah.
it's whereas you look at PlayStation VR and it's
Scuffle.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up AMD, because I know you haven't looked at it or anything, but Ryzen? Do you know anything about Ryzen?
I know it's coming out shortly, but I haven't looked into any benchmarks yet.
Okay, well, there isn't benchmarks, and as of like a day ago, there's some leaked benchmarks, so take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But it may be worth getting excited about, because from the live demos and stuff that AMD has shown, it's competing very much on par with what Intel has to offer at significantly cheaper prices.
So and I'm glad you said prices, because my main goal for AMD is only to create competition that Intel has to legitimately kind of pull their heads out of their asses.
well, yeah.
Well, because Intel's just been doing like really small improvements.
So they usually have
like, on
a
each
TikTok
iteration.
tack, but they just switched to a different system. Now, it could be really, really good. And like I'm excited about the possibility that it might be. At the same time, I don't feel like AMD is going to be able to create enough of a bump that they take the market. If anything, they will create competition.
I don't think they'll take the market either, but I think definitely it will create competition. But it's like they'll actually become relevant again. Like, people will actually consider, oh, maybe I will get AMD for my higher end rig.
Yeah.
Instead of it literally just being like, ha, fucking, we're doing Intel, man. Fuck you.
And honestly, again, like, as a professional, fanboy is not something that, like, I don't fanboy. However, Intel has earned my appreciation, we'll call it. They just make a better system right now.
Well, and they do, and I think you're right.
Well,
They're definitely going to create a bit of competition from what I can see from Ryzen. It'll make Intel probably rethink what they're doing a little bit.
Well, Intel didn't actually do anything bad this generation.
No, but
basically what they did is last generation they create a new platform, or they're using a new the 14 nanometer. So they do that, and then the next generation, which is our current, is the refinement generation. So now next generation they should create another architecture.
Yeah, they're working on 10 nanometer, aren't they?
I believe that's the next one, and then anything beyond that, I think they actually have to do a completely new.
Yeah. Because they're struggling to make it any smaller at this point.
Well, silicon, I think we're down to like 35 atoms at this point.
Yep.
Like you can't go smaller.
Now, how do you guys feel? Have you actually looked up the price for Ryzen yet?
I don't think anything's released.
They have some speculations on it, and there's some articles talking.
There's a lot of leaked stuff.
Yeah. From what I can see, at its cheapest, it's a Ryzen's in their lineup is going to be about $200 something to as much as like $500 something.
Is that Canadian or American?
At its cheapest, 130.
Yeah. So that's American from my understanding.
Okay, so yeah, I'm still not impressed for prices. I mean, you've got to have a hell of a processor to justify that. Because I mean, that's talking a processor for $300-400 Canadian, right?
Yeah, and I don't know. We're looking at what I just popped up one of the articles. You're looking at, so Jukebox is right. You get 4 cores with the Ryzen at 129.
Which one? Because there's a whole line of them.
And
Well, I know,
keep
it's
in
just
mind, because people hear quad core and they get excited. A quad
Okay, so
core
the AMD
AMD is
Ryzen
not equivalent to a quad core Intel.
Hold
so
on.
it's
I know you love hyperthreading and stuff, but
Yeah.
AMD now has their own trademark name, whatever.
Yeah.
Infinity Thread,
Okay,
which is essentially their version of hyperthreading.
that's good. And the point that I'm saying is your core clock and your core count are not equivalent amongst platforms because you have an instructions per clock that you need to take into account as well.
okay. So you were asking which one was 4 core. According to this, it's AMD Ryzen 3, the 1100, which is $129, 4 core. Supposedly it has 8 megabytes. L3 there. Its base is 3.2 gigahertz. Its turbo is 3.5, and it has the option of overclocking. So, that's the only thing I could get from this article, but that's at the base. And according to this article, the most expensive one's the AMD Ryzen 7 1800X, which is an 8 core.
Okay, so let's go the specs again, but let's go piece by piece.
So you want the core thread L3 TDP base turbo and the XFR?
I'm actually not 100% sure. What is the XFR?
I don't even know. God, it's just one of the things. And then
Where the
when I
fuck are
was
you
reading-
finding XFR?
It's actually off 2 of the different ones. The one article I'm looking at is off a site called WCCF.
I linked something in the Discord. Click on that one.
Ooh. Let's see. Yeah, thank you for. Oh, is the
Okay.
CPU single threaded? One that you sent me, the CPU versus load baseline.
What? It's in the general thread on Discord of PodcastTBD.
Yeah, that's.
It's
where
the only link I've sent today.
There's not really such thing as a single-threaded CPU anymore. Unless you're talking, like, even routers now are dual-thread. Like an Asus, either an AC or just an RT66U, both of those are dual-cores. Alright. I have an entire convoy of dinosaurs that are filled to the brim with metal.
Fuck them up.
This makes me happy.
Fuck up everything.
Yeah. Either way, I think AMD's heading in the right direction, and yeah, Skufflewick. I'm not really impressed by the pricing either, but
Well,
I know. I don't
okay,
think they're going in the wrong
depending-
direction though.
Hold on.
Again, my
Depending on
biggest
which,
hope. Sorry, go ahead.
Depending on which leaked benchmarks you're looking at,
Yeah.
and the live presentation that AMD held for Ryzen where they did side-by-side rendering and stuff like that. The Ryzen 7 1700X, which is their second highest CPU, goes very close to the 6850, and it's almost up to i7 6900. The i7 6900 in Canadian dollars on Memory Express right now is $1,500.
So
The 1700X is $389 US,
okay, so one
which
thing
will
to
be
keep in
about
mind.
600 Canadian.
One thing to keep in mind, because yes, they are comparing to top tier Intel CPUs. The 6700 is actually a stronger performing gaming CPU than the 6950. The biggest point there is your clock and your instructions per clock. Most games will only use 4 hyper-threaded cores. Anything beyond that is diminishing returns. Now, the other thing is AMD does specialize at certain things. Like they do some things better than Intel does. You can take an RX, what was RX 380, 280, whatever the new one was, and it will actually beat a 1080 at certain games because of asynchronous compute. So when you're looking at manufacturer released benchmarks or like live presentations, you have to be really careful with what you take from those.
Trust me, I know, but like I said, it depends on which one you're looking at.
Yeah.
And
But
like right now,
in any
everything's-
regards, if it comes anywhere near it in any regards at $800 less, that's significant.
But there's a reason why and I think that's what Skufflewick is getting at. There's a reason why the one you're comparing there's a reason why it's $800 less. And it has to do with how it's set up, isn't it? Skufflewick, how are you explaining it there?
I think in general, that is an $800 less CPU. In that so very specific instance, and I'm talking like that one application, it might beat
I get that.
the 6950, who would not go as well in that application.
Trust me, I get that. And like I'm waiting for the benchmarks and stuff to like actually get excited, but this is all worth looking at.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is
Like this is real
when
competition,
third party,
and it may be affordable.
yeah, when third party like tech tubers like Linus Tech Tips, fucking Jace 2 Cents, Bitwit Kyle, like when those guys start benchmarking, then I'm gonna care. As of right now,
It's all just speculation right now.
well, it's marketing right now.
It's not fully
There is no
speculation,
legitimate hold for those benchmarks because they are put forward by an interested party.
Exactly, and that's kind of why I'm waiting to hear more like third-party stuff being done with it when it's released. Because, yeah, obviously AMD is going to try to make theirs look good, even when they release stuff live about it on their own stuff, talking about their own stuff. They're not going to try to make it look any less impressive than Intel.
Like
So
they
it's a
wouldn't
little
have
bit
released.
biased.
They wouldn't have released that if they didn't think it made them look better.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
So I'm waiting for something that's going to go over it with and be a little less biased about it.
Yeah.
Okay, we can have a much more in-depth conversation once like benchmarks and stuff actually come out and it's released.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
But at
Yeah,
least
and I'm
have
not saying I'm
some
not impressed by
interest,
it.
Jesus.
I definitely am.
As like a tech enthusiast, have some interest in like the only chance of any competition coming out may actually happen.
Yeah, and that's something that's I think even is interesting. Skufflewick here is that there's probably going to be a little more competition because of Ryzen.
But honestly, that's my only realistic hopes for Ryzen is that it creates competition. And that might because I mean, yeah, I am an Intel fanboy, but like I said, they've earned that from me. AMD, prove me wrong, please. I love to be proven wrong because then I get to learn something, and damn, do I love learning. But
You see, for me with computer parts, whenever I'm doing like my little research on them and stuff like that, I've never been biased towards or fanboyed or preferred one brand versus the other. I kind of try to look what's the best at that point. So if AMD comes out with something better than Intel and it's better priced, I'll go with AMD. But if Intel's still producing something reasonably priced that's better than what AMD's putting out, I'll pick that.
yeah, no,
That's
I
how
agree.
I feel about it.
I agree, and I'm the same way. I'm like, I should probably clarify. I am not a blind fanboy. I just right now, if I do a build for a client, it is Intel. Because as of current, there is nothing AMD has that beats Intel.
Yeah.
Mostly in terms of quality and longevity that I'm concerned with. The thermals, the efficiency, it sits better for me to use Intel.
That being said, out of all the different companies you can go with, if you had to go between companies, you know, AMD and Intel are still the two best companies you can go with for processors. So
They're kind
Like,
of
what-
the only two.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
is it
Like, if you try and find a different processor on any big box store, you're not going to find one.
no? There are other companies. There's a reason why you only hear about AMD and Intel. So
Well, even
So-
at that point, the other companies are usually just for specialized proprietary systems.
yeah, and that's something I have issues with myself. They're being the only two real companies for it. But that's another whole other
Well,
issue. I would
I mean, there's only one real company.
I would like to see if another company come out to be another, so it's not just between the two. I would like a third company to come out above.
Yeah.
And create
NVIDIA, get your shit in there.
yeah, because honestly, they need
Actually,
the competition between.
NVIDIA's processing is ridiculous. Like,
They're, I mean, I guess they do make processors for stuff like the Shield and their TVs and whatever else.
no, like Tegra processors for automatic cars.
Yeah,
Like
that
Google
too.
uses NVIDIA processors for those.
Yeah,
But again,
well,
very specific applications. Like you can't
well,
just
that's what I mean.
go buy one.
It'd
Yeah,
be really nice to see
um,
NVIDIA or somebody else come out and be like, well, I want to get into the general, CPU processors for home PCs, and it would be really nice. But yeah,
How
you're
are
right.
they
They're-
gonna
they're
compete,
very,
Hey guys, how's this for a transition? The Nintendo Switch uses a custom Integra chip. Hey, Distinct, didn't you want to talk about the Switch?
Yes, and that's actually something I would like. So
You guys suck.
What, you want to keep talking about computers?
Oh,
How about this? I just upgraded a 12-year-old computer.
Huh?
I just upgraded a 12-year-old computer.
What'd you put in?
I maxed out its RAM.
To like 4 gigs?
Yep.
See? Yeah.
Oh, God.
We need to go get you a computer. Let me know when you're ready, and we'll go
No,
get
hold
you something
on.
nice.
My actual desktop is like 8 months old now.
What'd you get?
okay.
I'm talking about my old computer.
Oh.
Yeah, that thing, I use it for Microsoft Word because I don't want to pay like monthly subscription.
So you can
That's about
actually
its only
put
use right now.
Word on. Or, sorry, Office is non-subscription based. Office 365 is subscription. But you
Dandy,
can, like,
but
you
I still
can
don't want to
get-
buy Office again.
Huh?
I still don't want to buy Office again.
I can transfer
know.
Office.
That being said, I'm kind of sitting here happy still as a student and getting it for free.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean,
Hold
anyone
on,
can
this
get it for
upgrade?
free. Actually, Jukebox, do you want your Office transferred?
no.
Okay, so let's talk.
But okay,
about
hold on. I want to tell him how this happened. I was at Salvation Army, and my girlfriend picked up a piece, like a RAM stick, and she like handed it to me and is like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, that's RAM." And I'm like, "Where'd you get it?" And she like lifts up this floor mat that's on the shelf, and there's another one under there. And I'm like, "Oh shit! I wonder if this will work." It doesn't have a price tag on it. I bring it to the front, and I'm like, "Hey, how much is this?" And I have this thing with secondhand stores. If it doesn't have a price tag, usually they just charge 99 cents.
Yeah.
But more and more as time goes on, they're getting greedy. So if they think it's worth something, they'll price it right the fuck up. So she goes to a person at the front and is like, "Hey, what is this? How much is it worth?" And she doesn't know what the hell it is. So she goes to the back to the manager. And what they do is they go onto eBay.
Oh,
And they
yeah.
just look up, they don't even look up sold listings. They don't look up completed listings. They just search it.
That's like using Amazon
that's how they get the
pricing for
price.
anything.
So
Don't ever use Amazon pricing,
This
by
is-
the way.
this is DDR2. This shit's ancient. Fucking. She finally comes back and she's like, "Yeah, we looked it up. They're worth $40 each."
I'd have
And I'm
just
like,
been
"No."
like, "Ha, you're fucked."
Yeah, I laughed, but then she's like, "We'll give them to you for $4.99." And I'm like, "Oh, Jesus, good."
It's like, there you go. Start with that next time.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, how much were they
I can
originally
walk in
asking?
there and see
What were they? Each a gig stick?
2 gigs each.
2 gig sticks each for DDR2. Legitimate value right now would be $5 to $10 a stick, depending on condition and speed.
Yeah. And well, I mean, this is used at a secondhand store with no guarantees or way to test it. So,
yeah. Well, no, I got ways to test it, dude. Next time you need RAM, let me know. I have literal like a room full of computer shit.
I mean, when you're at the secondhand store, they don't test it. They
No.
can't test it.
But like,
I mean, once I bought it, I can test it, but like they can't.
Isn't that the whole problem with buying things used at stores or off Kijiji? Is people tend to not price things properly?
when you buy computers
Yes.
on Kijiji, they will sell it usually about 80% of new. Most computers that they're selling is between 50 and 60% new value. So yeah,
Which isn't horrible.
The pricing's just ridiculous. Oh no,
But
when you're
it's
buying,
still not the worst.
when you're buying a computer that's actually worth about $1,000, and the guy's like, yeah, 1,500 because I paid 18 for it, like 4 years ago.
Oh, I've seen stuff like that.
Then you
like
just punch
that
guy right in the face.
I was looking to
Yeah.
get see if I could get like an HTC Vive or Oculus Rift used off Kijiji, and there was a guy selling it. He bought the HTC Vive, decided he wanted to get the Oculus Rift, I guess, instead. He literally, I'm looking to get an Oculus Rift, so I'm selling my HTC Vive. He'd had the thing for like a year almost. Like, well, he got it right when it first came out, and he wants it the exact same price he paid for it brand new.
How long's he had it?
Probably covered, like, since it came out, some almost a year.
Yeah, no, that's when you tell him, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And I see the same thing. I buy.
Well, no, you don't do that. You give them an offer that's at least reasonable, if not a little less, and you say, hey, if you haven't sold this in a month, call me up, because they're not going to sell it for that ridiculous price.
I've done that, and like
The problem
I
is
used
someone
to buy.
is stupid enough to buy it.
See,
Sometimes.
no, he's still trying to sell it. Thing is, I see this all the time with aquariums. I used to, back in high school, buy and sell aquariums on Kijiji, and I would do that. I would tell people, like, like they'd be like, no, I'm not going to sell. They would want like full price or more than full price of what they paid for their aquarium when they bought it like 6 or 10 years ago. And I tell them, well, like when you I tell them, like, when you can't sell and you decide you want to get rid of it no matter what, call me back and I'll offer you the same price I was offering you originally. And I follow like kind of like standards, like, like you have community standards. There's no black book for aquariums, but it's like there's an accepted $1.50 to $2.50 per gallon for a glass tank, right? And I offer that, and then I offer that. And I had a lady actually recently, she was selling a 3-gallon nano tank. I offered her like $6 for the tank. I offered her like $15 for the light, and a various pricing for the other equipment she was selling with it. 'Cause she was asking like $180 when the thing wasn't even worth $180 brand new.
Yeah.
And I got an email back that she was contacting the police for harassing her. I sent her one message over Kijiji, and she said she was calling the police on me.
Yeah, but that's the kind of person that you deal with when you're on Kijiji.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I was like, I emailed back like, dude, like, I just offered you an offer. If you don't want to take it, then just don't email me back.
You know what I think the most ridiculous thing that ever happened to me on Kijiji was? I had an extra copy of Dr. Mario for NES, and I put it up there for $15, and I was like, $15 or trade for other games. First email I get back, hey, would you trade for Ed Hardy?
What?
Fucking douche clothing.
And what was your response?
God. I literally didn't respond because I can't deal with stupid like that.
Like, there's a certain level of stupid that is just not worth dealing with.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the problem when you're selling stuff on sites like Kijiji. At least it's not as bad as like when you're trying to sell stuff off Craigslist. That's a whole nother slew of.
There's not really much difference between the two.
I find there is. I find the
really.
people on Craigslist are a little crazier. I don't know. My experience, every time I've dealt with them, they're a little more desperate to sell their things to get other stuff, usually, in my experience, drugs. The one guy I had to deal with, I'm pretty sure, was a meth head trying to get money from something he stole. So,
Figures.
whereas I haven't had to deal with drug-addled Kijiji sellers yet.
I mean, I've bought two things off Kijiji, and they were both arcades.
Yeah. I bought and sold over the years a number of things on Kijiji. So
I sold my motorbike on Kijiji.
yeah.
It was
How did that
fine.
go?
Oh yeah,
By the way,
hold on.
So
For
I had
anyone
one
in the
guy, I
States.
had the bike I bought for about $4,800. Didn't ride it for a couple years, so I went to sell it for $4,000. Decent price for that bike. Nothing wrong with that. So somebody offers me, I think, $2,500 or $2,000, and I'm thinking like, you know what, $3,500 I'll take. $3,000 I'm gonna tell the guy to bump it up a little bit, but like my prices are not unreasonable here. So the guy's like, yeah, you'll never, because I painted the thing. The guy's like, you'll never get asking what you're asking for with that paint job. It was a camo green paint job on the bike they use for the military.
I will point out that you did do an improper paint job. I was there when you did it. That being said, like
It
it would
was
have reduced the
Krylon
cost.
paint, and it looked fine.
It looked fine. I'm just saying it won't last up to years. But that being said, like they shouldn't reduce the price
Dude,
by
it was
like $2,000.
Canadian Tire paint. It's not supposed to last. The point is so that you can
No.
paint over it.
Oh, I know. But what I'm saying is it would reduce the price a little bit, but not by as much as the guy was trying to claim.
Okay, so the following day, someone messaged me and they're like, we're going to come see the bike. And I'm like, cool. The problem is that night, the bike tipped. So there was some scratching. One of the handguards broke off. It was a pain in the ass. And so when they came, I'm like, you know what? We'll call it $3,500. They're like, done.
Yeah. That's reasonable. And I can say, honestly, you got off lucky.
You know
with
what?
damage
It's going to
with
cost
the
me
motorcycle tipping.
$500 to get that thing, to get those handguards swapped out anyways.
Yeah.
And
yeah, you did a reasonable thing there.
drop the price. Hey,
I will
listen,
say
this
though,
is
you
what
got lucky with
happened.
only $500 worth of damage being done.
Huh?
That's all I'm getting at.
Well,
I'm saying for a bike dropping, that's pretty lucky to get with only $500 worth of damage.
Oh no, on this bike it'd be a couple $100. Like these things are meant to be taken apart and built on the side of the highway.
Well, and I will say that's the kind of motorcycle you had. It was probably the reason why there wasn't much damage. Whereas if you were to like drop a Harley or a Honda,
Oh yeah, I had
like
no
cruiser.
chrome. If I had chrome, I'd have been fucked.
Most mechanics I know and guys who drive motorcycles pretty much claim if you drop a cruiser on its side, there's at minimum going to be $1,000 worth of damage.
Yeah,
then and there.
it's half the cost of the bike gone.
So you have to be
Okay,
careful.
guys.
Like, so let's get back on topic. So let's talk about the Nintendo
No, I have to
Switch.
make a clarification we should have made 10 minutes ago.
What?
Kijiji is the Craigslist of Canada.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So I'm sure a lot of people are going to be like, what the fuck
I think
is
they have
that?
Kijiji in the States, don't they?
No, it's Canadian. I mean, they might have it in the same way we have Craigslist, but it's not like
just
that
the
many people
secondary.
use it. I'm pretty sure, doesn't eBay own Kijiji?
I think so.
I actually don't know.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they do. I'm going to look it up right now.
Okay, so while
Okay,
you're
Distinct,
looking,
get us back on topic.
okay, so let's talk about the Nintendo Switch. What we know, there was recently a release on the OS. Everybody now knows what the OS. There was a couple of leaks, I guess, as well along with that, which isn't surprising considering how close it is to the release date of the Nintendo Switch. The biggest complaint people are making tends to be with the memory size. How much memory versus, what the operating system actually takes up on the memory and how much the games take up on now that everything's pretty much download and install on consoles. That being said is that you basically only get about 25.
Hold on, it's 32 gigabytes, but since that's also used by the OS, it's approximately 25 to 26.
And now, hang on, are you talking memory or storage?
Storage.
You said memory.
Yeah, sorry. Let me clarify. Is storage memory, not RAM.
Okay. So storage memory doesn't exist. Memory specifically talks about RAM.
Yeah. But you get what I'm getting. Storage, and they're using a flash card. So micro SDs and stuff like that. That's what they're using for.
All
storage.
flashes is solid state, so it's a shit ton faster.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
But when they only give you a 32 gig and some of the games are taking up like 16 gigs.
Yeah, but if they're
of
doing that, they're probably going to allow what Xbox allows, and you just plug in an external.
Well,
Yeah, and they do that. And currently, the micro SDX or whatever the fuck it's called, up to 256 gigabytes.
So micro SDX is just high capacity micro SD. It's in a different format, but it's the same physical
But that's
form
like
factor.
the specific one that they use.
Well, here's something that's kind of funny about that.
So
I was
it's
reading
reverse
up.
compatible, but yeah.
Yeah. What I was reading up that I found kind of funny about that is Nintendo Switch supposedly supports up to 2 terabytes of micro SDXC, which doesn't exist.
That's not
No,
true.
the thing is,
It's being built.
It will support it when it comes out.
SanDisk already has a terabyte micro SD.
I know, it's
Or
just
sorry,
kind of funny
terabyte
that
SD, not micro.
That's just future-proofing, man.
I know. I like that. I just found it a little hilarious, and people are
That
pointing
word
out, like,
also
it
doesn't
supports
exist.
that, but it doesn't. Yeah. So I don't know. Though the one point somebody pointed out about that is the fact that to get something like that's gonna cost you like well over $200. So
Yeah,
actually
or
looking up
spend
the
$50 on a
256.
USB external hard drive. Done.
I think it'll be
We
fine.
don't know if it'll work through.
Yeah.
USB.
We know for a fact it'll work through the SD cards. So you just upgrade your SD. Go get a 128. You'll be fine for a good long while with Nintendo games on that.
So 256 gigabytes, US price, I'm just looking it up right now, is about $200. So Canadian, that'd be like $360.
Is it that much of a jump?
Jump from what?
Price?
Take whatever the US price is, times it by 1.3. Depending on the company, maybe times it by 1.4.
Oh, okay. So yeah, from 200, that's gonna go just shy of 3.
Yeah, but if you consider Nintendo games, very few of them will use like the full, like, if you could imagine it's still on a disc, like the full 50 gigabytes that a Blu-ray would give. Even games on the PS3 and the Xbox One and PS4 and stuff like that, almost none of them use that full capacity. Most games at most are like 8 gigabytes.
True, but is Nintendo starting to try and get into the high res, into the...
No.
No.
It's still 1080p and the handheld screen is 720.
Like they're coming up from what Nintendo Wii was, but they're not going up to what other game
Wii
consoles
U.
are. Yeah, Wii U.
Oh, okay.
So they're are upping their resolution, just not up to trying to do 4K like Xbox One and PS4 are trying to do. So
Well, so get this then. If you want 128 gigabyte micro SDXC whatever from Samsung, $60 US right now. You could hold like 15 games on that, like full huge games, not like Street Fighter 2 re-release virtual console stuff, because those are like megabytes.
500 megs for the big ones. I mean, like,
Yeah.
big ones.
Well, they're gonna have GameCube games on virtual console now, but even those don't get above like, I can't remember what that little disc was, 1.2 gigabytes or something.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people are freaking out about storage, but it's almost a non-issue. And the way they developed this thing, it's almost like, imagine your 3DS. You have some downloaded games on there, whatever. You put a micro SD card in, you still don't care. You carry around a pocket full of games if you bought them physically. No one cares still. So what's the difference with this one?
I think now people are just used to the compact convenience.
yeah, and yeah, no, people are always gonna find something to complain about. So
Yeah. Here's what I was complaining about, because a couple people actually unboxed their early copies or whatever. Because I actually saw someone got it, not by accident, because they have like a review copy. And they're like, we're going to show off the box, but I'm not going to open that or else that goes against my contract. The people who did open it, fucking the power bar, or the fucking...
oh yeah,
the brick, fucking bringing us back like 20 years, fucking back to the Stone Age. You got a giant fucking brick you gotta plug into the wall. They figured the shit out back on the fucking N64 that you can't have that shit anymore. You got 2 goddamn outlets. That brick's gonna take up both of them because it's too fucking big.
Yeah.
Well, I've always just put it on the big bricks like that on the bottom of the 2 switches, the 2 plugins, and usually I'm fine to plug a second thing in.
But it's still so fucking stupid. Why don't they just have like a brick along the cord, like any normal one?
Yeah. That being said, I feel like they made a mistake with that. What they should have done is, they should have put one down like a laptop, one where you have like the brick halfway down the cord.
Yeah.
Yeah. The very thing they've been doing for the last 2 generations.
And I don't know why they did. Maybe they'll redesign it and realize that was a fucking stupid thing to do.
They better.
I don't think they will.
On the other hand,
I mean,
you know what? I will say though, Xbox has not the same thing, but similar. The Xbox One original had the big fucking brick, not on the wall, but it had a brick. The Xbox One S, internal power supply.
Well, and that's their 3 options. You have 3 real options with the power supply, and that's
on the wall, on the cable,
and
the device.
Yeah.
With the Switch, it's obviously not going to be internal because that thing is like tiny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's like the size of a tablet.
Could you imagine trying to design that into there?
Yeah. But like if in that case, you should at least have it along the line, not at the plug.
Yeah.
Because like I said, that shit brings us back 20 years to shit they figured out long ago.
I think it's gonna either be a non-issue or people are gonna complain enough and they're gonna change it with the second version of the Switch.
The second revision, yeah.
Assuming there's a second version.
Oh, there.
I'm sure there will be.
Assuming there's a second version.
Yeah. That being said, or they might just because it wouldn't be that much for them to redesign just the cable and release a second cable.
I mean, it is going to be a non-issue. It's going to be like a mild inconvenience at most. But the fact that they did it
in the first place
astounds me because this is something
like you
that
should
you go into the room
now,
and it's
right?
like, we know that people don't like this and we know that it's better to just be a fucking box.
I can straight up tell you, somebody is already in shit for that. Okay,
they better be.
I sure hope so.
Or they'll have been heralded as a hero. Hey, the cord is smaller and we can make the console smaller. Good job, Phil. No, Phil, you're an asshole.
That's probably what happened. Is somebody was like,
what?
like people were complaining about the weight of the cable or like having this big clunky thing in the center, and then they were like, well, we don't want to put it inside the console, so I guess it's back to being on the wall.
Yeah.
And now then they're gonna get complaints that it's on the fucking wall, and they're gonna be like, well, fuck it, we'll put it back on the cable.
Yeah. Other things that I took note of was the cable management, like I mentioned before, is very nice. Yeah, so like you kind of open up a little flap on the back and then plug the things in and then close the flap. So it's just 2 wires coming out of your console.
Okay, that's nice. I appreciate that. Phil, you're not as much an asshole anymore.
Yeah. But, that at least they only messed up one place really far as designing of the console, which is the power. As
far as we know so far.
Well, no, from just looking at it, from what we can see, as far as like visual design and setup, the hardware look of it, it's spot on. Other than that power supply, as far as inside the OS, we've seen very little of the inside of the OS.
Yeah,
and
we've seen pretty much all of it except the eShop and playing games.
Well, and that's what
they went through all the menus.
Yeah. Which is what I'm waiting to see. And so far, so good. I want to actually, try it myself before I say anything. But I'm
very happy with the layout.
Yeah. So far, the layout seems pretty good. But they haven't really ever messed up on Nintendo layout for their operating systems. So
with the Wii, you had the channels, and that was all well and good. You could move them around. You could get rid of them if you wanted. And it was pretty intuitive. You went to the game channel, and then you pressed play. With the Wii U, it's a bit more messy. And then you can switch it between the screen and your device, and if it's on the screen, it's like a circle of orbs.
Yeah.
It's just not as nice. It's not as intuitive. This one is like 4 panels. Which one do you want to pick?
Yeah. I think the operating system is going to be nice with the Nintendo Switch, which is good. I'm just waiting to see if there's any like small little problems once you get in there. You know what I mean?
Sorry not to interrupt, but I'm totally gonna interrupt. We actually are gonna have a joiner, and he's going to try and record again this time.
Who dat?
Cuddles.
Cuddles.
At this point, our guest experienced technical difficulties and was unable to record. The remainder of this podcast has been edited to avoid confusion. Do expect Cuddles to return on a future podcast.
Cuddles going.
Ladies and
join.
gentlemen, the first guest on PodcastTBD. Oh,
Random guest.
Scuffle disappeared.
Uh-oh.
Gasp.
Sorry, I totally changed
guess.
channels there. I'm back.
Yeah.
Totally changed channels. What have I done?
You spontaneously combusted and then re-amalgamated.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that
That's a
we've
lot
talked
more
about,
entertaining.
we've talked about the Nintendo Switch, there's one last topic I would like to talk about.
Cuddles?
So now that we've talked about the Nintendo Switch and Cuddles is now joining us, I would like to move on to another topic, which is what TV shows or movies that are coming out in the next couple of months are you looking forward to?
TV shows. I think, like, I don't watch a lot of TV personally. For movies, I can't wait to see Lego Batman.
I like how they spun off from the Lego movie to Lego Batman.
Oh, did they?
And the commercials for it have been kind of hilarious, which I like the one with the Batmobile.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen any of it. All I know is I love the Lego movie.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this movie.
I mean, the dialogue and story could be shit, but I'd still probably love it if the animation was just as good, if not better.
If
than
it
the
had
Lego
good
movie.
animation and good humor, that's all it needs. Because it's a kid movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, we're like that movie. There was one other one that had just come out recently that I was really looking forward to, but I can't remember what it was.
50
John Wick 2?
Shades.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely 50 Shades. If I want to go
Would it be
watch
John Wick
softcore
2?
porn. Oh fuck.
Would it be John Wick 2 though?
I don't think it was. It might actually be gone already. Like I don't. Again,
Was
I
it
don't have a
Star
lot
Wars?
of time. I don't see movies. I don't watch TV.
Okay.
If I have time, it's stuck playing video games with Cuddles. Yeah. Which, I mean, I totally love when we get to play.
Jukebox, what about you?
Well, I'm going to see 50 Shades tomorrow with the girlfriend.
Are you
That'll be
looking forward
You're
to
taking
seeing
her,
that?
aren't you?
Yeah, it was
It'll be
totally
alright.
her decision, guys.
It was. Joke all you want. But
We
no,
know.
I'm going to see that, and I tend to stay completely spoiler free. Like, I usually don't even see trailers, so I was told that someone gets shot and there's like a helicopter crash, so I'm like, what the fuck is this?
All right, I might have to go see this now. Woohoo! Shitty porn.
Right?
Well,
The
that's how
helicopter.
they
Anyways.
that's how they bring the boyfriends, and they in the trailers or information they try to bring in like that one or two things that the guys are
Oh
gonna
my
want to
God.
see in
Deadpool? When Deadpool did his trailers, it was amazing. It's a romance. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
If they do that, I'm not even going to be mad.
This actually
Yeah.
reminds me of a quick story.
I
I'm gonna
doubt
tell.
it, but
This
okay, tell your story.
this reminds me of something. So like, remember the movie Twilight? Does anybody remember that?
Gross, but yes.
Everyone.
So me and a couple of friends and my brother ended up seeing it totally based off the trailer. We knew nothing about the book series at the time. We knew nothing about the movie. All we had seen was a short bit of the trailer where there's the fight scene where they're getting like the guys like getting rammed through the floor of the dance studio, and we're like, we know
That's
nothing
hot.
about this other than there's vampires and people fighting and destroying shit. Let's go see this movie because we were
Then it
bored.
was
We were
a
doing
love
nothing,
Story.
and we're saying, "What the fuck is this movie?"
Yeah.
Which, you know what
I will
surprised me?
still hold that the movie isn't that bad. It's just all the hype and fangirls and fanboys that was bad.
Yeah.
And actually,
Otherwise, it's just, mediocre.
I had one
It's-
criticism of the books and the movies, and you know what that is? If it was the girl who wrote it did an excellent job of research. I've watched the behind the scenes and looked at her, read her articles. She did some really good research on her books, and it even came up with a good concept. The problem is she wrote it. Everything else perfect. She came out with a perfect idea. She did all the proper research for it, and then somehow messed it up still.
I still think it was just a shitty vampire romance. Like, what's the TV show that's on right now? Vampire Diaries? I'm not going to watch it because I'm just going to assume it's the same as every other vampire romance.
I like how you say on right now.
Drama, but love. But forbidden.
Go watch Van Helsing.
Van Helsing, watch.
Cleanse yourself of this Twilight shit.
Yeah.
I will point out Vampire Diaries has been out for like 5 years.
Okay, fucking shit coming out. Okay, so what I'm actually excited about
We're still
is
here.
Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, oh.
Yes. Yes, oh my god. I own like...
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
like,
hold on. I own the VHS, I own the special edition VHS, I own the special edition DVD, I own the re-release DVD, and I'm getting it on Blu-ray. Fucking, I am a fan. I have, like, the Dark Horse comics and shit, like, goddamn.
Ooh, have you played the video games for it?
No, and it's been going up in price, like, every year, so I probably won't.
Do you have a PSP? I can't remember if you said you had a PSP or not.
No, I still need one.
Because when you get one, you can borrow my copy of Ghost in the Shell for it.
Okay.
So yeah, how do you feel
I'm-
about the criticisms about the actor who's portraying the main character? How do you feel about that? Considering like, she has the character has an Asian name but as far as the storyline goes, I also feel like they were very undescript about her ethnicity in it. And
Is this Scarlett Johansson?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, I actually know what the fuck you guys are talking about. Do you know why he chose her? Because he is
Let's hear it.
spending
Black Widow.
hundreds of millions of dollars to make a movie. Yes. That's a fact. He is spending hundreds of millions of dollars to make a movie. He doesn't want some unknown actor.
Well,
He
and
wants people to be excited to see it. That's it.
other than the argument's complete horseshit about the ethnicity of the actor, considering a lot of animes are very indescript about their ethnicity of their characters, regardless of the name. They have a way.
It's an Android too.
Yeah, and it's an Android. They can make it look like whatever they want, and actually the character design is kind of Western-y looking in a lot of the animes for it. Besides the point, people have made a criticism. Yeah, he doesn't want an unknown actor, but there are a fair bit of well-known Asian female actors he could have got.
Okay, like who?
So
Oh, of course.
yeah,
Lucy
Name
Liu.
me 5 female actors
Lucy
aside
Liu.
from Lucy Liu. Because that is the one that I know.
Mung.
Okay, it's the one that I know, but it's the one we know. That's the point.
Okay,
Yeah,
but that's the problem.
Olivia Mung. Olivia from Attack of the Show. She
Okay,
was
Olivia Munn. She was Psylocke. Yeah.
and for years she was a host of Attack of the Show.
Attack of the Show was
She's
amazing. I think we can all
Yeah.
just take a moment to appreciate that.
I miss it. Yeah.
So, okay, so we got 2.
There's a few more that it's just. But
So-
the point is,
In theory, they could have gotten Mari Takahashi from Smosh.
and there's a few other ones. They could have even got some well-known actors from. It's not the film market isn't as closed off as it's international now. You can get actors are even from China and Japan are
Okay.
well known in Western countries, just as Western actors are now known
You-
over.
You can, but he wanted someone everyone knows.
I also think he purposely picked her, knowing there was going to be a slight bit of controversy with the ethnicity. Decided being
It's an American movie made
That
for an
as well.
American audience.
exactly.
The end.
Yeah.
No, that's the point. I will point out that PR is PR, and it's got a lot of attention. by criticizing it on the ethnicity of the actor, they did not the movie nothing but a favor by making it more well known because of the argument. I'm
Right.
excited for that movie as well. Is there any other movies you're excited for or TV shows there?
No,
Jukebox?
we're moving on to you.
Okay, so I have a number of things, and this is gonna probably speak towards what kind of person I am. But I'm looking forward to Iron Fist on Netflix, the Defenders on Netflix. I'm also looking forward to Logan, the film. Yeah. Ghost in the Shell as well. And that's, I could go on. There's a number of other movies and TV shows coming out, but those are the ones coming out in the next couple of months that I really want to see. If anybody who doesn't know what Logan is, it's basically future Wolverine. Like, they take a lot of themes from the Old Man Logan comic book, and it looks awesome. They did an excellent job. And have you been keeping up with the current, which has Old Man Logan thrust back in time into an alternate universe?
I just like the word
main
thrust.
Earth. Yeah, it's gonna be nice. I have looked at the trailer for Iron Fist, and it looks awesome so far. They're keeping with the same tone they did with Jessica Jones and goddamn, mine's blanking on the other one. Ugh. Luke Cage. There we go. And with Daredevil as well. They're keeping with the same kind of theme, what they're going for, the style they're going for. So I actually kind of like that, and it's all culminating into the Defenders coming out after. So,
what are the Defenders?
Defenders are actually that set of superheroes that they're kind of like the lower class Avengers. Your Hell's Kitchen, north end of the city, rundown section superheroes. They defend the smaller guys.
Okay,
they're not so much. Yeah. They're not going to defend against some international space demon or robot. They're not that kind. You get my point. They're not going with like
Chitauri
huge cosmic.
Were not demons.
Yeah, no, that's not my point.
But I know what
my point is just like they're not going on for like big world events. They're more like something that would affect just like Hell's Kitchen or somewhere smaller like that. It's still big.
Don't affect Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what Iron Fist is though, Skufflewick?
The only thing I know about him is from the legendary board game.
He's a fairly decent character. I suggest you get on knowing about that character.
Just like punches everything.
Kung Fu Master defeated a mystical dragon, gaining his powers. He controls chi. That's the reason why he's known as Iron Fist. Essentially, he killed in some of the comic books, that's how they explain his origin in his name, is he killed a dragon with his bare fists.
Man, that is sexy.
He's also best friends with Luke Cage, and they both actually started a company in the comic books where they were heroes for hire.
Can you imagine a hand job from that guy? Like, that'd be terrifying.
Which one, Luke Cage or
Iron Fist?
I don't know.
Squeeze tighter. Squeeze tighter. Oh, God!
Yeah. So they're not necessarily mercenaries like Deadpool.
No, heroes for hire. I'm familiar with those.
Yeah. They'll save you for money.
Yeah.
They just won't go kill somebody for money for you.
I appreciate the hustle.
And I will say I have been liking that they're linking back to the 70s versions of the characters in the Netflix series. Like, we got a quick glimpse of Luke Cage's afro and yellow shirt from the original comic book in the Netflix series. They gave us that little peek at what the comic book character actually looked like originally, which was awesome. Yeah.
Actually, I do like even in X-Men when they brought back the yellow and blue suits. I appreciated that.
I did, and that's just they're learning from Joss Whedon. Give the comic book fans what they want, not what you think they want. What they want, and why it took them so long to figure that out. Just give us comic book accurate stuff, and we'll be happy, as close as possible as you can get, and we'll love it.
Yeah. I mean, the comic book fans love it, and everyone else still gets their action movie.
Exactly. And all you're doing by going comic book accurate is you're guaranteeing a viewer base of the fans of the comic book. They're not going to look at the trailer and be like, that looks stupid, I'm not going to go watch it.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, oh shit, I want to go watch this. And you got instant viewership from that.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's going to tank like, the first couple of X-Men movies. So, well, and that's why I'm glad like stuff like, Ghost in the Shell is actually going to be anime accurate as far as we can tell from the trailers so far. Oh, and I should point out, is anybody looking forward to Guardian of the Galaxy 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm looking forward to the soundtrack.
Oh yeah. And you know what? I hope they do what they did with the last soundtrack. I hope they release it on cassette. Like because I missed out on that the last time, and I would love to get Volume 2 on cassette. I have a cassette collection, so it would be nice to actually add something in there because I haven't done that in a long time.
What kind of
I had
connects
the
these things
opportunity
with
to
the
buy it. What?
So did I, but I couldn't justify spending the money at the time because it's pretty much all the money I had at the time.
Yeah. I mean, like, I was in the store holding one of the 2 copies they got, and I'm like, it's $30 for a cassette. It costs more than the vinyl at this point. I'm like, nah. I can literally make my own mixtape and just print off the cover.
I know.
Which would be more authentic to the movie than the authentic movie prop.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's just get an old cassette player and we'll do it the old school way of making a playlist.
And you have to
Well, I
miss
actually
like the
do that.
first
I'm
3
probably, like, the
seconds of
only
your
one.
favorite song. Because that's when you were running to hit the record button.
God, trying to do that in a car.
Yeah.
Oh,
So glad I just have Pornhub now. I mean, torrenting.
Here we are, back at porn again.
It's a running
I
theme.
think this is a recurring theme for Skufflewick. I think he's a little obsessed.
See, anyone who listens is gonna think so.
Go outside, let go of your dick.
Going outside isn't going to stop him from letting go of that.
Yeah. Sometimes
He'll
you
do
just
that
get bored,
outside.
you know?
The cops might stop him.
Wasn't there
It
some
won't
guy
stop.
that fought off like a dozen cops while masturbating?
Yeah,
I think he was
I
on
think I've
meth.
seen what you're talking about.
No,
he was
it
on
was in
some
the
sort
news.
of drugs while he was doing it.
Huh?
But yeah, he was on some sort of drugs while he was doing it.
Yeah, I think
but
he was
yeah.
on meth when he did it. But like, that man is a hero.
He's so dedicated to jerking off that he fought off cops to continue
But, like,
doing it. Yeah.
Not just cop. Yeah, it's one of the cops that did it. That was the little known fact. But like, he fought off like a dozen cops.
With one hand and the other hand around his dick. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, before anybody starts being like, oh, cop hater. No. Like, I was actually in the final runnings to be fairly high up in the RCMP. They ended up finding candidates better qualified than I was. They've all now quit. So, karma. But like, I can't remember where I was going with this. That happens a lot.
Scuffle gets passed up by a lot of people he's supposedly better than.
Oh, no, I meant that I squirrel. What a dick. Thanks, Kusai.
I couldn't resist.
Yeah. Yeah,
Someone should have made a
I
mom
was just,
joke.
I was kind of pleased when I heard that a lot of the persons who I was not chosen because of ended up failing. I'm like, ha. It just made me happy in like a pity little way, or in fucking words. Not pity.
Let me ask
In
you
a
a question. Are you just a little
pitiful way.
jealous that? Are you just a little bit jealous that they ended up in a job you wanted and you ended up where?
I didn't actually really want the job. It was just the only job that was really kicking around at the time.
I know, but right now you're what a pizza guy and an IT guy.
Yeah, and actually I'm happier than I would have been otherwise.
Oh,
I
good
get
point.
to, okay, put it this way. I get to play video games with Cuddles until 5 a.m., and then sleep till 11, go into work 20 minutes late, and just be like, yo, what up, guys? And I still make...
and all the free pizza.
Oh, free pizza for sure. I have pizza every day. Probably not
It
healthy.
ain't healthy.
Don't give a shit. Do not give a shit, because it is delicious.
Now,
Yeah.
not to cut... Yeah, sounds awesome. Not to cut us short, guys. We've been recording for a while, and I think this is where we will end today.
I don't think so. Fuck
Oh,
you.
good. No. We can stop. You can keep talking, but it won't make the podcast. You're not the one who edits.
yeah, that goes to both Jukebox and I.
Oh, you guys are
So-
no fun.
At least I don't have to
Lick
bleep out as
my
many of your
taint.
you bleep out names as often as this time. So I think
What were you about to say? Because you're the one that always says the names.
Oh, at least I know where mine are. It was hard finding you, Skufflewick. The last time I had to edit yours, I literally had to edit you saying your own name a good 8 times, which I only had to
Okay.
set at 6.
I'm editing this one, so I'm just going to put a giant beep right here. You said,
Oh, yeah.
and then right after that, you said,
all in a row.
And he knows exactly what we're talking about based on that, because he's been to the
but
parties.
you know what? I listened to and then I had to tell him there's 7 in there that he needs to cut out.
Nice.
I totally forgot. I cut out all mine, and I totally forgot to cut out yours.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
now I've said it about 12 times.
I think it's already done, though. I don't think we're editing this.
I'm editing it.
Yeah, it's gonna be edited. Remember, if you liked what you heard today, please remember to subscribe and like the video. And if you would like to hear anything particular, don't forget to comment down below. And thank you, and have a nice day.